called automation. Have you heard of it? Heather Hughes here, LinkedIn Lady Boss. Thanks so much for tuning in today on Training Tuesday. So I am pre-recording this because I will be traveling today, but I want to make sure that I showed up and gave you a little nugget, hopefully that will help you in your business. So, you know, we may have heard that automation is not necessarily a good thing on LinkedIn. Why? Well, to be frank, it's just not allowed. It's actually in the terms of services for your agreement with LinkedIn when you first start an account. They actually tell you that no artificial intelligence is allowed on the platform. So, should you do it? And my answer is there's a good way to do it, and or there's a right way to do it and there's a wrong way. So should you do it? Only if, I will tell you, there's a couple things. Only if you do it the right way and you take the time to do it the right way. Out of the gate, you're actually probably not going to show up on LinkedIn today and be able to automate it. I would actually strongly discourage you from doing that. You need to know. You need to know what your audience likes. You need to know who your audience is. And ideally, you want to have an acceptance rate that's fairly high, and high is about 20%. Yeah, and that doesn't sound like a whole lot of people. So if you're spending time sending 100 invitations a week, you're only getting 20 people to accept you. So how do you send 100 invitations a week? And right now, people, that's about the number that LinkedIn is allowing you to send, even if you have a premium account. So 100 invitations divided by 5 days, that's about 25 invitations a day. Is that doable for a person that has less than an hour a day to spend on social media, specifically to spend on the LinkedIn platform? You can do 25 invitations, oh my gosh, probably in about 10 minutes, to be quite honest. But it's not just sending the invitation that's important. It's what you do with those invitations once you are connected with them. So before I get into the connection process and automating that, there is a way that you can use automation to help you show up on a regular basis on LinkedIn. And what is that? If you use a scheduler to post your content, so it means that you need to plan in advance and plan your content in advance. So you are super focused on when you're posting, and it's done regularly. So I personally, I take several hours a week. Actually, if I took 8 hours a month to do my content, I would have more than a month's worth of content for LinkedIn. And the great thing about that is not only do I get to use that on LinkedIn, I can use it across many platforms. So I take probably 2 afternoons, I would say every 2 weeks, and I do my planning. So then what do I do with that? I take that content and then I upload my posts into my scheduler, and I schedule out my posts for a period of time. Usually always at least 5 days at a time, but ideally I'd like to get two or more. You know, if I have theme days, and some days I can get posts for some of the days further out going. And I do leave room for sporadic or spontaneous content, so that way I can just show up and kind of put some stuff of what's actually going on at that time. So be super consistent. Scheduling is okay to automate. It's actually accepted. It does not affect the algorithm if you use a posting scheduler. It actually LinkedIn, I've tested it. I've had people test it. It does not show up differently to your audience, and it gets shown just as much. One thing that you can't schedule are articles. So I do recommend that you do post articles, preferably once a week. But if you can't do once a week, try to show up and do an article once a month. It's a longer format of a post, probably giving a lot more details. And you also cannot schedule stories. Stories is a great way. People are kind of unaware that it's even out there. It's from your mobile app only. Definitely want to show up, use stories sort of just like you do over on Instagram and Facebook. It's really cool. You actually get tons of views on that, probably 10 times as what you normally get on your regular posts. So it's a great way for the people that you're already connected to see you showing up and providing value. So that's automation on your content. Now, automating on your connection process, should you do it with caution only, and only if you do it the right way. Again, first you have to know who is your target market, and you need to have tested it. You need to have an acceptance rate of the invitations that you go out, preferably 20% or more. So that's the number that you're shooting for. So if you start and you're only getting 7 or 8%, chances are you may not be connecting with the right target, or maybe your messaging to invite them to connect is not right. So then from there, you need to make sure you're engaging with that audience. So engage with that audience after they connect. Make sure that you say thank you for connecting, provide something of value. Don't promote your business. You can promote a freebie that will help them. That's probably a really great thing. Promote an article that you wrote. Say, hey, I wrote this great article. I'd love for you to check it out and get your feedback, and then send them the link to that article that keeps them on the LinkedIn platform. That's amazing. You can do that for a post as well. And maybe it's not even your content. Maybe it is actually someone else's content that is super valuable that you know that your audience would love. That's going to totally amaze your audience and going to increase your know, like, and trust factor. So once you get to that 20%, you're going to say, I want to automate this and I want to connect with more people. Again, right now, LinkedIn is only allowing you to connect with 100 people at a time. So can you do that? You can't do it all in one day. And if you do, it's not a good idea. Consistent activity on a regular basis is better than one day and then not showing up for 5 days or 7 days, because reaching your commercial limit does not reset until Sunday. So I would definitely say do less on a daily basis to reach that limit. Can you do 25 connections and the follow-ups on a regular basis without automating? You absolutely can. And if you can't, then that's when there's a couple options. One, you can look at a done-for-you service, like what I do. I help you create your messaging and get to that 20%, show you how to do it, and then you can decide whether you want to continue doing it. Again, it's not hard, it's not sexy, and it's not fun. It's actually very monotonous, but I show you how to do it. If you don't want to do it, I can do it for you. Or there are other options for you out there too that are very low cost, but the thing is they are abused and they're not used properly. And when they're not used properly, you risk getting shut down by LinkedIn. So I'm not telling you not to automate. There's actually some really great programs out there. A couple that I've even used with my clients and help them, or I direct people to them. So I do think that that is a viable option when used and practicing LinkedIn best practices. I don't think it's a good idea to go out there and just automate and not engage in your network. And I think that that's the lost art of networking, is actually engaging. It's not all about the number. It's actually about showing up and providing value and engaging in that network. With your network, take the time for those 20 people. If you're sending out 100 connections and you get to 20% for those 20 to 30 people that connect with a week, send a personal message. Go in and look at their profile. Find something, you sent them a connection message because you wanted to connect with them. Now it's your opportunity to give them something of value so they want to connect with you and start a conversation. So really super simple training.